Welcome to our first virtual open house. The 2020-2021 school year is sure to be like no other. No matter what challenges lie ahead, we are committed to partnering with you, the SEBA families, for the success of your SEBA student. Since our students are learning from home either full-time or part-time, our partnership and communication needs to be stronger than ever. Feel free to reach out and communicate with individual SEBA staff members at any time regarding your SEBA students' progress. Be sure to sign up for Google Classroom summaries and create a parent portal account through PowerSchool so that you're aware of how your student is progressing. Before open house, we ask that you watch this grade level video in its entirety to learn about the courses and expectations. On Thursday, October 22nd, we will be following a different format than we normally do for open house. I have emailed the schedule along with the Google Meet links to join. You will notice that beginning at 5:30 p.m., there are 10-minute sessions with each teacher. Please join your SEBA students' classes by clicking on the link or cutting and pasting it into your browser. It would be a good idea to touch base with your SEBA student to confirm that you have identified all of his or her classes and teachers in advance. In addition, there are sessions on Services Action for grades 9 and 10, Personal Project for grade 10, CAS for grades 11 and 12, and Extended Essay for grades 11 and 12, which are essential components of the IB programs and graduation requirements at SEBA. The purpose of all of these sessions is to meet the SEBA staff member, learn about the course and expectations, and have an opportunity to ask any of your questions. In addition, I have also provided you with a virtual library of links that contain information that is usually available at open house. After the event, we will have a PAC meeting at 7:30 to discuss topics such as future informational sessions and fundraisers. On behalf of the entire SEBA staff, I would like to thank you for taking the time to join us this evening.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Campbell, and this is DP1 English A1 Literature HL. There's a lot of letters there, acronyms. This is our literature course. This is the first year of a 2-year diploma program literature course. And so all the texts actually run across into next year, senior year as well. And so I want to give you an overview of some of those texts that we'll be studying this year, some of the assessments that we'll be doing, some suggestions for you to help support your student at home, and some of my expectations for my remote learners and my in-person learners. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in Eugene, Oregon. I'm not from the East Coast. Went to University of Oregon, then came out to New York, graduate school, went back to Oregon, and started my teaching career in Portland. And I was at an IB school there, and then moved out here, and I've been teaching here at SEBA. I've actually taught our first graduating class of seniors in 2002 to 2003. And I've been teaching junior English, IB junior English for this marks my 23rd year teaching, and I think 22 of those years I've taught IB junior English. So just a little bit about me there. Our course objectives is to read, understand, and appreciate literature. Want to engage your students with a range of texts from different periods, styles, and cultures. Help them develop and interpret and analyze, develop skills of interpretation, analysis, and evaluation. We're going to be doing a lot of close text analysis, close reading. We're going to recognize and appreciate literature, how literature communicates, and especially in this course, we're going to be really thinking about intertextuality and bringing together texts that are originally written in a different language than English, and then texts written in English. And we're going to look at those with respect to a global issue. So they already read The House of the Spirits. We're finishing that unit up, and then we're going to move into the selected poems of Pablo Neruda, also a Chilean author. Then we're going to come and study actually Arthur Miller's The Crucible. Arthur Miller, of course, is an American writer who lived in Connecticut. And then we're going to move into The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. She's a Canadian author. And then we're going to go to Algeria and look at The Stranger by Albert Camus. And finally, we'll look at 1984 by George Orwell, who's British. And move into Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata, who is Japanese. So those are the texts really for this year. And I say where the writers are from because, of course, we have a variety of languages represented. We have Spanish, we have French, we have Japanese. Participation in this class is required, and I got to say, the juniors so far have been doing a really great job of meeting me on this one and really participating from home, but I want to make sure that they're dressed for success. If they're going to be remote learners, they may not be in uniform, but they really need to be dressed appropriately and be ready to be in my digital classroom. Put on their best whole face forward. I'm really looking for cameras to be on and to be able to get those facial cues and to see how they are reacting to things. I can see if they're confused, those sorts of things. And seeing is believing. Make sure that they have a proper lighting and a proper space to be in so that I can see them and they can see me. And speaking your truth. I mean, students learn through verbal engagement. And like I said, the juniors have been doing a good job with this, but we could always do more. I mean, really, discussion, dialogue drives this class. And it's how through that and through inquiry, how we figure out what it is that we know and how maybe learn new things. IB assessments for this course at the end of this year, the internal assessment, we will be doing this. So they're going to take a 40-line extract from a work and translation, a 40-line extract from something originally written in English, and tie that to a global issue. And then we have a 15-minute presentation where they're going to present for 10 minutes, and then I ask questions, Q&A for 5 minutes. And it's a great opportunity for them to demonstrate their critical thinking. And it is going to be something I have to score, and then we do send those scores into IB, and then they ask for a sample of recordings of that, and then they assess those as well and moderate the scores. So that's kind of in a nutshell, a few things about the course. If you have other questions about the course, please feel free to contact me, and I look forward to working with your students the rest of the year. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to listen about my class.
Hola. Me llamo Señora L. I am the Spanish DP1 and DP2 teacher. Diploma program is a 2-year course, and it started in junior year. This course is a language acquisition course designed to provide students with the necessary skills and intercultural understanding to enable them to communicate successfully in an environment where the language studied is spoken. The course is designed to be studied over a 2-year period. It's comprised of 5 themes that are incorporated within the units. The units are within the 5 themes: identities, experiences, human ingenuity, social organization, and sharing the planet. There are a variety of topics covered under each theme. The focus is on speaking, on listening, on writing and reading comprehension as it pertains to a variety of authentic text types and audiences. Students are required to speak in the target language, to do oral presentations, to complete lengthy written texts, to listen and comprehend various Hispanic speakers, and to engage in the target language with peers on various topics. They're also, while they're doing this, they're also learning about the Hispanic culture. The study of another language is crucial in developing an international-minded and global thinking IB student. So it is super important for them. In addition, they are preparing for examinations for their senior year, which they start working on in their junior year, as far as getting ready for the exams, being exposed to different things that will be on the exam. And the exams themselves are split out with external assessments in their senior year, which is a paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is a writing task where they have to write 250 to 400 words from a choice of 3 from a different theme. So there's 3 different ones from a different theme. They pick one and they write. There's also paper 2, which is listening and a reading comprehension with comprehension exercises on 3 audio passages and 3 written texts. The internal assessment is an individual oral, which was required in your senior year as well. And it's based on a visual stimulus, which is one of the 5 themes. And it's followed by a discussion based on an additional theme, which is taped and required to be about 12 12 to minimum of 12 minutes to 15 minutes in length, and it's weighted at 25% for IB. In addition, I am stressing for this year that to let the students know, as far as the day-to-day, they should be in Google Classroom daily. That's where the daily and weekly assignments are, such as Duolingo, which is a weekly assignment, and projects and so forth are all on Google Classroom. Their homework is listed on there, as well as any additional support materials for the course, which are posted there. I will try to post reminders for upcoming quizzes or tests. And parents are also able to access this as well. And also Power School, that's where students go and parents are able to check grades, students' grades, and assignments as they get posted on there. This year, I'm saying this in all of my courses, students are encouraged to use SpanishDICT.com or Word reference and not to use Google Translate. With the current environment that we are in with remote learning and such, it is imperative that students not use Google Translate for entire sentences or paragraphs. In the long run, this is going to hurt them if they are using Google Translate at home to do assignments, because they won't be able to write sentences. The exam is such that they give you a pencil and you get the exam. It's entirely written in Spanish. And you basically, that's it. You don't have a cell phone, you don't have a computer, you don't have a dictionary. They just give you the exam and you write. So it is imperative that students are cognizant of that and that they adhere to that. In addition, as we're learning new material and we're adding on and reviewing sentence structures and formats and so forth, as it gets harder or they're learning how to add on to sentences, if they're not able to do the basic sentences, then that's an issue as well. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. Probably the best way is to email me, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. If I am not able to that same day, depending on when you send the email, usually by the next day, I will try to get back to you. Hopefully this has been informational and helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please email me. Thank you.
Hi, dear parents and students. I'm Mrs. Yang, and most of you guys should know me. And today, I want to talk about what's going on for Chinese 3 this year. And since I'm on a medical leave for my mom, I will be back on November 16th. And but we have very good and experienced Chinese teacher teaching your kids. And we talk about, before the school starts, we talk about curriculum. We try to have good transition after November 16th. If you have any questions, you can talk to her or email me. And for Chinese 3, we want using the book called Integrate Chinese, and that is a very good book. Most colleges and use that, but we are just picking up some lessons and some topics from that book. So students will have more things to depend on and then study. They also can review that book for the things we learned before. And for Chinese 3, I pick up the several topics and like school life and shopping and IB education and also transportation. So for Chinese 3 is we call DP1, Diploma Program 1, Year 1. So this is you really starting a new program following IB curriculum. So for this units, so we have units, we still want teaching the way, and then student will be able to know some concept, and then to understand, and then from the smaller area to the bigger area, from our classroom to our state to the global. So we want the student to participate, and then also to involve what we are learning. Just say, for example, for IB education. So, we want the student to use their own experiences to talk about what is the IB education. What is the IB education different from our regular education? And also talk about shopping. So the shopping right now, we'll all stay home. How we shopping, and the online shopping, and how that changed our life. Amazon shopping is what is your experiences? And then you talk to the parents, or so to see what our life with online shopping, how it changed our life that way. So same as transportations, travelings, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the Chinese 3, and then we need student more involvement, and then they are going to discuss, and then reading, and then debate, and then they will learn different kind of writing formats and stuff like that. And for expectations, I do want a student involved and participate if you all come to the school, and then value the time we have. And then for the student at home, you will still have same expectation for you to finish the work I signed, and the article read, and then writing things you need to write. And for parents, I want parents encourage students to have good sleep, and exercise if they can, and go outside more for the sun, and have good nutrition food. And if you have questions, and then please, for any current grades and stuff, please contact Ms. Kong. And then if you have questions for this year, and then you can contact me, and after I come back, or right now, and then email me or call me after November 16th. Thank you so much, and stay safe.
Hello SEBA families, I'm Jill McNulty, and I teach Year 1 of the Diploma Program History course. Year 1 is titled History of the Americas because we have the whole Western Hemisphere as our area of study. We look at different topics in history from a U.S. lens, but also we build in Canadian and Latin American case studies. Our units for this year are Emergence of the Americas in Global Affairs, the Americas in World War II, and Civil Rights and Social Movements in the Americas. The IB History program is much more about depth rather than breadth, and so 3 main units are all that we do, and we go into those in great detail, and we try to do some comparative studies between US, Canada, and Latin American nations. The skills that we work on are primarily essay writing. The IB exams are mostly essays with some document analysis, which are short and long answer questions. So we will do a lot of essay writing, we will do some document analysis, and we will also build in some research. Everything that we do this year is a foundation for what will come next year in Mrs. Hupert's class. And by the end of senior year, students will be prepared to take the IB exams, which cover all the information from both years of history. So the material that we study this year will show up on a paper 3 exam. There will be 3 essay questions that pertain specifically to our units of study. Please feel free to reach out to me to find out more about the course, to find out about your own students' achievement, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.
Hello, my name is Fran Farrell, and I am the Diploma Program Information Technology in a Global Society, or ITGS teacher, here at SEBA. This is a technology class unlike any other technology class that's been offered before. This is specific to IB. This is a class that focuses on the impact technology has on society, both individuals and on a large scale. So it's not a class that's going to train kids how to be hackers and how to do all sorts of unethical things. Instead, the focus is to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the access and use of digitized information. This class will provide a framework for students to make informed judgments and decisions about the use of IT systems within social contexts, so they can look at programs and softwares and information and see what the advantages and disadvantages are. What you're seeing here is the overview and the ITGS triangle with stakeholders and examples right at the heart of that. So stakeholders being the people utilizing the systems. In the top left, we have strand 1, which is social and ethical significance. This is, in my opinion, one of the best parts about the class because they talk about these IT issues, IT system issues, and how they connect. The top right, strand 2, these are the units that we study throughout the year. DP1 students will be studying business and employment, which they're currently learning about now. From there, we move on to education and training. After that, we move on to talking about the environment and IT systems within that. And finally, they will finish out this year studying about health and talking about all things robotic surgery and telehealth and telemedicine. Their senior year, they will spend time talking about home and leisure, so looking into smart home technology, and then eventually, and more, but then moving on to politics and government and seeing how IT systems have played a role with that. There will also be an exploration of the case study during their senior year, something that is a major part of their IB exams, where they're given a case study at the end of junior year and they spend a year or so examining that. DP2 students last year were able to get through 2.5 units. So we studied business and employment, education, and part of the environment unit. However, that's when the quarantine hit and we had to spend the rest of the year trying to do it from a distance. We came back this year and we finished up the environment unit and we're currently talking about health, all things health related. We are then going to move on to home and leisure, from there politics and government. This year they have a lot of catch up to do. However, I'm confident that this group of students will rise to that challenge and they will meet that head on. In addition to talking about these, they'll also be spending time talking about their IA and the case study. And on the bottom, we have the actual systems that we will talk about. So hardware, software, networks, and so on. Another major part of ITGS in IB is their IA, or their internal assessment. Every class has one of these. And for ITGS, the students are going to find a client in the real world that has a problem that is affecting them. And the students will then analyze that problem and come up with a solution, and then create a solution for that problem. It is broken down into many steps. And I have actually created a website to help students so they can work on this at home. The seniors, the DP2 students, started this last year and they are currently up to Criterion E. So far they have interviewed their client, they've researched solutions, they've developed an idea of what they want to do, and they are currently creating them. So they might be making a website or a video or working on some sort of new logo or design for a client. And then they will finish the rest of this before the winter break in December. Junior students are going to be starting this later in the year, around March or April, when they will be looking for a client to work with. What I would encourage families to do is to think about who they might know that may benefit from a product such as this, an IT system to help solve a problem. As a small school, the students have few teachers to work with, so they are needing to find clients outside of the school environment. When working with new programs and software, it's usually easier to have hands-on, one-on-one help in person. However, this year, obviously, we can't do that. So there's going to be a little patience and a little more student-centered work, trying to kind of understand how things work, maybe on their own. But I'm always happy to help work with students, especially if it's something new that is giving them a hard time. Please feel free to contact me with any help that you might need. My email address is farrell.fm@easthartford.org, which will be someplace down here. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic year. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Mace, the DP biology teacher here at SEBA. I am new to SEBA and new to teaching, and having such great and intelligent students has made this scary first year a lot better. For the juniors, I teach DP Biology 1, the first half of DP Biology, which they will finish as seniors. In this year, they will learn about cell biology, molecular biology, genetics, ecology, and evolution. We will be finishing up our first big topic of cell biology later on this week, and my expectations are that they will all do really well. In the classroom, my expectations are that everyone, orally or not, will participate in their own learning. I offer a lot of group and individual work, so participation and engagement are key. When students are in person, I expect them to be safe and also engaged, talking with each other in the classroom and online with their peers. When students are online, I expect them to collaborate with their peers and be present in the conversation. I want to hear them talk and be active in their own learning. I also expect people to ask me questions, whether it's about technology issues or biology. It would really help me and your students if you, the parents, could encourage them to be more active in class so that they can be active participants, even when they are online. I know it's scary to talk in front of a camera. I'm a little scared to be doing this right now, but it is vital for their understanding inside and outside of class. You can contact me at mace.ml@easthartford.org if you have any questions, suggestions, or concerns. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the SIBA Open House. This is DP1 Chemistry, and my name is Ms. Snyder. I had the pleasure of knowing your students last year, and this is our second year together, and I look forward to a successful school year upon us. My contact information is listed here, snyder.sa@easthartford.org. In the first half of the diploma program for chemistry at the IB level, this course will provide students with the opportunity to deepen their exploration of the chemistry concepts introduced in MYP5 in order to prepare students for their IB exams that they will take in the spring, of their senior year, and it happens to be in May as well. Our goal this year is to get through topics 1 through 7. We will do our best to reach topic 7. If we don't get all the way through topic 7, we'll just resume wherever we leave off at the beginning of next year. Since we are unique in our learning this year, with some students virtual and some that are in person, I just ask that you check in with your SIBA student more frequently, make sure that they're doing okay in terms of staying on top of their studies, and as always, reach out to me with any questions that you have, and know that I'm here to help and support your student, and I wish everyone a successful school year, and I can't wait to get to know your students better.
Good evening. My name is Amy Cunningham, and I teach the DP Mathematics Application and Interpretation courses.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Buck, and I teach the DP Mathematics Analysis and Approaches courses.
Individual students have different needs, aspirations, interests, and abilities. For this reason, there are 2 different DP courses in mathematics: Mathematics Analysis and Approaches, and Mathematics Applications and Interpretation. Each course is designed to meet the needs of a particular group of students.
The 2 courses share some common content and study the following 5 topics: number and algebra, functions, geometry and trigonometry, probability and statistics, and calculus. The core topics include an in-depth examination of essential concepts from algebra and geometry, augmented by the use of technology, basic concepts of probability and statistics typically found in a pre-calculus course, and an introduction to and focus on conceptual understanding of fundamental ideas of calculus.
The A&I course includes comprehensive coverage of topics from Algebra 2, including their applications and the integration of technology. Expansion of probability and statistics to include such topics as the chi-squared test for independence, and a more detailed study of calculus, including applications of differentiation, such as optimization.
The A&A course includes a thorough study of analytical algebra and pre-calculus topics such as verifying trigonometric identities, expansion of probability and statistics to include topics such as conditional probability, an extensive study of calculus including differentiation, integration, and their applications.
Both courses are assessed through 2 90-minute written exams and an exploration that enables students to demonstrate the application of their skills and knowledge and to pursue their personal interests without the time limitations and other constraints that are associated with written examinations.
Please feel free to reach out to either of us if you have any questions. Have a great night.
Hello, I am Mrs. Kent, and I teach DP Visual Arts 1. The IB Diploma Visual Arts course encourages students to challenge their own creative and cultural expectations and boundaries. It is a thought-provoking course in which students develop analytical skills in problem-solving and divergent thinking while gaining confidence and proficiency in technical skills. In addition to exploring and comparing visual arts from different perspectives and in different contexts, students are expected to engage in, experiment with, and critically reflect upon a wide range of contemporary practice, material, and media. During the course of the year, we prepare for the visual arts exam, taken in the second semester of their senior year. The visual arts exam includes 3 components: the comparative study, which is a collection of slides where they analyze 3 works of art by 2 different artists from 2 different cultures; the process portfolio, which is a slide presentation of their sketchbook pages that highlight the specific IB art requirements; and of course the exhibition, 7 works of art, their artist statements, and a curatorial rationale. As we make our way through the course, students will understand the historical and cultural significance of art and ideas by analyzing specific cultural ideas, techniques, and processes, as well as considering the historical implementation as it pertains to their own work of art. They will develop self-expression through the use of emotion and color, imagination, symbolism, and applying the processes and conceptions of their ideas. Every project is student-centered and individualized to meet the artistic and creative needs of each student. As they work through an original idea, they document their work through the idea stage with sketches, research, artistic discovery, and experimentation, connections to culture, history, and society. This is why the IB regards their sketchbook as an equal component to the finished work of art. What I love most about the IB Visual Arts program is how it is catered to each student. No 2 works are the same, and it is wonderful to watch each student on their own creative journey and exploration through art. Every project speaks differently to each student, as one could be working on their oil painting skills, another can be exploring short films and graphic design. While one student is inspired by the great masters to create a still life, another might be experimenting with photographic processes. Every day is fresh and new. If you are interested in more information about the Visual Arts exam and its components, you can check out my website at kentsvisualarts.com or email me at kent.s@easthartford.org. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Nystrom, and I am the site-based coordinator for all online courses here at SIBA that are offered through Pomoja. Pomoja is the company which is authorized by International Baccalaureate to provide official IB courses online. While I'm not the teacher, I can give you some of the expectations that your students will have, whether they're taking psychology, SL or HL, business management, or math HL. We have similar expectations for all of them. Each student has time built into their day for a full 44-minute class period to devote strictly to their online Pomoja course. We expect every student to log in every day when they're here at school. Like any other class, there will be homework, so they will also have requirements that need to be taken care of outside of the school day, much like any other class they're taking here at SIBA. Our expectations are that every student stays up to date with their assignments. Their assignments are posted a week in advance and they know exactly when they're due. And Pomoja does not like to accept late work. So it's very important that the students get their work turned in on time. Generally, their week for Pomoja ends Tuesday evenings around 5:30. Students have to have all their work turned in by that time. What you can do to support your student is to ask them periodically, how are you doing? Are you understanding things? Have you needed to ask Mr. Nystrom for help? Is there anything you need that's awkward with taking a course through Pomoja? Any of these questions can open up a discussion or a dialogue, and then it's easier for the student, to ask for help. If you as parents or guardians have any questions, feel free to contact me here at SIBA. My office number is 860-622-5591, and my email at school is Nystrom, that's NYSTROM.M @easthartford.org. I look forward to a great year, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Hi, My name is Jennifer Sawyer, and I am the teacher of the Junior Theory of Knowledge course. Thank you for joining us tonight at our open house. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the course so that you understand what your student is doing and what you can do to help support your students' learning. This is a little bit of information about my educational background as both a student and a teacher. The most important thing to know is that I have been teaching Junior Theory of Knowledge since 2005. So it is a course that I have fallen in love with, and I think that I do a good job guiding students through the different foundations of the course. IB has a lot of different goals and objectives with this course. However, what we're really looking at is how do we know what we know? Questioning where our knowledge comes from, how it is constructed, how it's validated, and what happens in order to get us to accept it. We're really focusing on the student as a knower, looking at all the different factors that influence perspectives, values, beliefs, and ideals, and really helping students to see things from multiple perspectives and consider many different points of view. So one of the core themes of theory of knowledge is knowledge and the knower. This requires a great deal of introspection and reflection on the parts of students as they identify the different tribes which they are members of, the different knowledge communities to which they belong, and look at how the values and the priorities of these groups help to shape their and create filters for students on how they see and understand the world. Here are some of the big questions that we look at when we consider ourselves as knowers. We will also be studying two optional themes in this course. The first is knowledge and politics, and the second is knowledge and language. And as we examine things that are accepted as truths in our world, we're going to look very closely at the impact that both politics and language have on our reception of that information. These are our 5 mandatory areas of knowledge that we examine: natural sciences, human sciences, history, the arts, and mathematics. These are particular fields where knowledge is constructed in very specific ways, and what is true in history is determined by much different criteria than what is true in the arts or what is true in the natural sciences. And the different ways that knowledge is constructed according to the area of knowledge is something that we really focus on and look at in this course. The best thing that you can do to help your students succeed in this core requirement for IB is to make sure, whether virtually or physically, your student is putting on his or her best student face. So that means that students are at school, they are required to be in uniform, whether they are here on camera or whether they are here in person. Students' entire face must be visible on camera, and lighting plays a big deal in that. We need to be able to see each other in order to interact, in order to exchange these ideas, and in order to have some of these tough conversations. And then lastly, participation. That your student, whether it is talking in small groups in breakout rooms or sharing ideas with the whole class as we discuss these different artifacts, you should hear your student's voice in this class. For IB assessments, there will be an individual TOK exhibition in May. And in that, students select a knowledge question and they find 3 different artifacts to examine in terms of how it answers that question. And then there will be a prescribed title that's composed during the senior year. If you have any questions now or at any time about how your student is doing in theory of knowledge, please don't hesitate to reach out. The best way to get in touch with me is through my email address, which is listed on this slide. And if you would like to follow up with a phone call or even an in-person or virtual conference, we can make arrangements once you reach out. Thank you again for coming tonight. I hope that you enjoy learning about all the different courses that your SEBA student is taking. And again, reach out if you have any questions.
Hi, I'm Robert Spiller, CAS Coordinator here at SEBA, and I'm here to give you a brief overview of our CAS program. CAS stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service, and it is one of the 3 core components of the IB Diploma program. It is a requirement that students successfully complete their CAS program in order to receive the IB diploma as well as their high school diploma. The expectation is that in junior year, students would participate in a minimum of 6 CAS experiences and log a total of 30 reflections into ManageBack. One of those experiences that they do in junior year should be their CAS project. The CAS project is just a larger experience where the student is in charge and makes the decisions, works collaboratively with other people, and it must cover at least 2 of the 3 strands of CAS, those being creativity, activity, and service. The reflections should cover each of the learning outcomes where the students talk about what they did, what they experienced, how they felt, and what they learned from their experiences. In senior year, the students are required to log a minimum of 6 experiences and 20 reflections. By April 1st of their senior year, they should have a total of 15 experiences and 50 reflections. After that, the students will have to do one final reflection covering the entirety of their CAS program over their junior and senior year. Students should make sure that they log in and put their reflections throughout junior year so they don't get behind. There are many things that students do that qualify for CAS. Many of the clubs and activities at SIBA are CAS related. Any service work, the Avalon Walk, Cancer Walk, sports teams will qualify under activity. Doing something artistic would be creativity. Whether you do something with Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or with your church group, as long as it's not religious, you can log it into CAS. If you have any questions about CAS, please contact me, and I will be happy to explain and answer your specific questions. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Travis Marciniak, the IB coordinator here at SIBA. As many of you know, the Extend Essay is one of the hallmarks of the diploma program and by extension, students' SIBA experience. The Extended Essay gives students the opportunity to home in on one of their areas of interest and become an expert in that field. Students choose a subject and a research question, and then research, develop, and write an in-depth 4,000-word research paper in pursuit of an answer to that research question. This process is deeply personal, and the vast bulk of the responsibility for researching, fact-checking, analyzing, and writing falls to the student. Students must receive a grade of D or higher in order to be eligible for the IB diploma, and IB expects that this essay will be comprised of about 40 hours of work by the student, supported by regular meetings with a faculty advisor. This process closely mirrors the expectations that students will face in higher education and prepares them for other formal pieces of sustained academic writing. Students will begin this process in the spring by selecting a subject area and a topic that they wish to pursue. They will then work with a faculty advisor who is an expert in the subject area that they chose to create a research question which will guide and focus their process. Students are expected, as I said, to spend approximately 40 hours researching, analyzing, writing, and refining their essay, so the success of each essay depends heavily on each student's ability to self-manage and reflect throughout their process. They'll meet regularly with their faculty advisor and complete 3 mandatory reflection sessions, and the final essay is going to be due in early 2022, so spring of their senior year. The role of the faculty advisor will primarily be to provide subject-specific guidance and feedback, while my primary role is to provide guidance for the process as a whole. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time via phone or email, and I look forward to